What's going on, everyone? The Landline. The Landline has historically been a key fixture in the Scream franchise. It's been a key fixture in all the Scream movies. I've even seen people like leave comments about, and there's kind of like this running narrative of like, there better not be a landline in the upcoming Scream movie, because landlines have kind of gone, they're days of the past. There are still people that have landlines, right? Like I have like family members that are older that have landlines, right? So landlines aren't really like completely absolved, but they're fewer and fewer out there, and most people that are within a specific age ranges, they're not like, no one in this film is probably going to be old enough to where you could justify the landline, and it's just not as common as it used to be. But it is such a fixture in the Scream franchise that it's one of those things where it's like, can't we just like look past it? Right? Like, is that really a deal breaker for people? Like, oh my gosh, this film is so unrealistic. This film is so like, they have a landline. This is ridiculous. Maybe to some people it might be, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't really understand the criticism of the landline. Again, it's fun. It's a movie. Yes, Scream has been very good about like being historically realistic and stuff. But there's still movie logic scenarios. There's still things that have always been just a little crazy. But, you look at 96, right, it made sense, right? Because everyone had a landline back then. But now you get into 2026, it's like, how many people actually have a landline? But according to the writers, they actually have a creative way that they plan on kind of incorporating the landline in this upcoming Scream movie. So, because again, landlines and Ghostface go hand to hand. You can't have one without the other. It's like Ghostface's knife at this point. But according to Guy Busick, Scream 7 screenwriter Guy Busick told Variety that he's going to continue using landline phones in the new movie. I found a great way to have a landline Ghostface call in 7. Sydney is thrifting for her kids, and one of the old landlines there starts ringing, and she answers it. So, we're getting the landline. We're going to keep it because we cannot get rid of it, right? Like, that is the key. That is the goal. But in all seriousness, no. I mean, that, one, why would you answer a random landline? Right? Like, and it's going to be tied to something, right? She's just like at a thrift store and there's like a landline hooked up and it's connected to actual thing. Like, that, I think you're better off just letting there be a landline than trying to continuously come up with some creative ways as to why a landline's there. But nonetheless, unless it's something where like she's at the thrift store and the landline just starts ringing, right? But then why would, like, if it's the work phone or something, why would you pick that up, right? Because I mean, a lot of businesses still have landlines, right? A lot of businesses still operate and have landlines. Like, I thought you could, like, an easier way, because supposedly Sydney owns a bar, right? So, I mean, if she has a bar, she very likely has a landline. She very likely has, like, a business phone, right? She's probably not using a cell phone for that. So, again, wouldn't that be an easier way to justify it, right? I mean, look, they want to keep coming up with ways to do so, right? Like, at some point you are going to have to probably move away from the landline. But again, like, if you have established businesses or things that still justify a landline, like if it's at somebody's house, it's kind of, again, it'd be kind of harder to explain. It'd be kind of harder to justify if you want to be sort of accurate. But beyond that, I think it's just like there's ways to be creative. And again, the landline is so, it's so iconic. Right? I mean, the opening sequence of Scream, like the theme that started it all, Drew Barrymore, Casey Becker picks up that phone and starts talking to the secret lover on the other line, right? And guess what? That is how you start the tradition. That's how you start the trend. And it's just, you've had it in all of them. You've had that iconic scene in all of them where phone rings, you pick it up, right? And you answer the landline phone, and then you get the Roger L. Jackson's Ghostface voice, and just, I just don't think you should get rid of it, right? I think you should keep it. Again, have creative ways. Have it be in a business or an establishment or, in a hospital or something where, you can justify it, right? Where They know, okay, like that phone's ringing, there's a reason why. We know what it is. We know it's Ghostface. Pick it up, right? Like it's one of those things like the staple, right? Maybe 20 years from now when businesses don't even have landlines and, it's completely obsolete, then sure, cut it out. But for now, it's like, it's still a thing. It still exists. It's just not like common in households anymore, right? It's not common in most people's living quarters, right? But in businesses and establishments and things like that, they're still everywhere. Still all kinds of stuff like that. I just think, having Sydney pick up the phone and getting the, hello Sydney, I don't think you could pass up on that. Now you could do that, of course, with the cell phone, but it's also not as like, I don't know, it's just something about the landline. It's so like, not of course iconic, but it's just so, it stands out, right? Like it's there where, the cell phone kind of gets overlooked, but like a landline phone, it sticks to it, right? It's just like, man, and it probably stands out because one, they're bigger and bulkier, but two, um, it's not common, so it's just like, oh wow, that's funny, right? Where, um, back in '96, it was like that was just super common. You didn't really think of it. You didn't really think about it. You just kind of like, oh, okay. But now it's like that landline picks up. It's like it sticks out like a sore thumb, right? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay. Now I get it, right? Just kind of things like that. But call me old fashioned, call me whatever you want, right? Nostalgic. I think that, you look at that phone call on the landline. I do think it's something that is very significant. I think it's something that, right, again, it's not something that I think is like, oh, like if you don't have the landline phone call, that's it, right? Like, no, I don't think it's anything like that. I don't think it's, life or death in any way. Like, oh, that's the end of the franchise. That's it. Pack it in type thing. But I do think it's something that, it's just like a fun little nod, right? It's a fun little callback. It's something that, I don't think is crazy to justify. I don't think it's crazy to keep it in, right? Like, again, if you're at somebody's house, maybe, but I think most people look at it like, how many people are really outraged about, like, I know that there's like a movement going around and people are kind of like, the landline, get rid of the landline. Like, it's like, really, like that's the thing, right? There's 50,000 things that you could point to and scream and go like, that's a little weird, but it's the landline, right? That's the thing that gets you. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you think, like, yeah, like, keep the landline in? It's nostalgic. It's fun. It's just, it's a movie, right? You're going to have some forms of movie logic and stuff. Do you think, no, not at all? You got to get rid of it. You can't have that in the Scream movie. You got to, like, keep up with the times, so to speak. Or you got to justify it through, like, business or whatever. Again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.